Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a long wait for many people who want to apply for the ILR or otherwise called a settlement or the permanent residence in the UK. Guys, the wait is over. It's freedom time and nothing will stop you to work for your dream job after getting the ILR. It's the final stage of the application where we are going to make it successful. You can change companies and you can do your dream come true business indefinitely here in the UK. As you can see in this picture, it's completely freedom. I know how it feels. I've been in the situation. It's been a long wait for me. I've been in the UK for more than 8 to 9 years and I finally got my ILR in less than 2 hours. So I hope we can make this journey together, and I hope this video will be useful in making your successful application. Quick disclaimer before going to the video: I'm not an immigration lawyer or I'm not an immigration advisor. This video is just for a quick reference for you guys to come up to the speed. This is purely on my research. I would strongly advise you to visit the Home Office website before making an application. This video we will see the whole process of how we are going to apply the indefinite leave to remain or permanent residence in the UK. This is a checklist where you need to see before making an application. So we need a signed application form, which is a set O form for most of the applications. Two passport size photos, which is a standard UK size, valid passports and the expired passport after entering the UK. The application fees, which I will go through in the video later, supporting documents which will cover in the video as well. Appointment with the UK VCAs to give the biometric information, and also to submit all your supporting documents in the UK VCAs portal, and the confirmation from the Home Office for your application. Here is the list of documents needed for the ILR application. First is the two passport size photographs, the UK standard passport size, current and expired passport of yourself entering after the UK. We also need to provide the biometric residence card, where Home Office would have given you for the visa where you are staying in the UK. This is basically a pink card where Home Office provides you for living in the UK. It can be a tier 2 general, it can be a tier 1. That's the card where it has a valid visa permit. Life in the UK test. This is a must for most of the people applying ILR, where you need to go into the gov.uk website and then you need to book a life in the UK test. There'll be a list of questions where you need to answer, and then pay £50 of payment for the life in the UK test, and then get the certificate done before making an application. Also, the applicant needs to have the English language test certificate, where you can either do a B1 test, or if you have done your degree in the UK, that's valid. Or there are lists of countries where you don't need to have this kind of qualification. You can go in the Home Office website and you can see what kind of requirement is that. So if you have the visa already in the UK, I'm sure you would have had this qualification test before applying the visa. So you can submit the same evidence for the ILR application as well. Say if your degree was not taught in the UK, but you have done your bachelor degree back home. So you need to apply a UK NARIC certificate. You need to go to a website called uknaric.org, and then you need to apply for the UK NARIC certificate, just to make sure to tell the Home Office that you've got the bachelor's degree, which is very equivalent to the UK bachelor's degree here in the UK. So that would qualify for the English requirement as well. You also need to provide the evidence of accommodation in the UK. So if you have your own property, you can provide your land registry document or your annual mortgage statements. If you are living in the rented property, you can provide the tenancy agreement as well. You should also provide the UK bank statements for the last 3 months. You need to make sure that the bank statements are not old, less than 31 days before making the application. You need to provide your P60 and P45 if there's any applicable. You can request the P60 from your employers, and then this should be for the last 5 years. If you're self-employed, you need to provide these self-assessment tax returns for the last 5 years. The next thing is the Excel spreadsheet confirming the days of absence in the UK. It can be your business or leisure, but you need to provide a list of holidays where you have left the UK and then you have entered the UK the country visited, and then the reason for travel, and then the number of days. So this is a document where Home Office would like to check your absence of how many days you have traveled outside the UK within your qualifying time of period for the specific visa. You should also submit your recent pay slips, which corresponds to the bank statements for the last 3 months. You can even highlight your payments in the bank statements so that it's easy reference for the caseworker. There are so many categories where you can apply for the ILR. Most of the categories are after 5 years. So if you're applying on a 5 year route, which I did on a tier 2 visa, so your absence should not be more than 180 days in any 12 months. And then if you're applying on a 10-year visa, your absence should not be more than 180 days in any 12 months, and it shouldn't be more than 540 days in total 10 years. Home Office also needs to have a proof where you have resided in the UK for the last 5 years or your qualifying time of period. This can be your annual mortgage statement, your bank statement, your letter from the government departments such as DVLA, TV licensing, council tax bills, utility bills such as gas and electricity. Your telephone bills is also accepted, where it's a mobile bill or a landline bill. You can also provide your letters from the NHS and doctors or dentists, and any other corresponding letters you get from the government. So probably two documents for the last 12-month period would suffice this requirement. If you are on a tier 2 general visa, you should also need to provide the work permit approval letter from the UKBA from your previous employer and current employer. So many people would have changed employment in the 5 years. They would have got sponsorship from different employees and they would have changed jobs. So you need to get the approval letter from each of the employer. You also need to get a letter from each of your employers, your previous employer and the current employer. So there are two types of letters you need. One is the letter of absence, where you need to get a letter from your human resource or your manager from your previous company, that you have worked there from X date to a Y date, and then your job title and your salary of when you left the company, of how many hours you were working there, and also your certificate of sponsorship code, and how many days you are entitled to travel outside the UK, and you have been working with the company, confirming that your annual leave was taken as agreed in the contract with that company. Provide a table where your list of absence in the UK for that time period. If it's a business travel, then obviously the company would recognize them. They'll be happy to confirm that and sign on your behalf. Here is a letter template where you can use this for your application. This has all the information which I've just told you. It needs to have the home office address and also your name, your company name, your job title, from what date and until what date you have been working, your gross salary of the time you are leaving the company, and then company annual entitlement paid leave. So here's the template. Hopefully this is useful for you guys. You also need to get a letter from your current employer with the same details, but you also need to get a few other details since this is your current employer. I can also show you a template where you can use this, which will be very useful for you when you make an application. So this is the letter you need to request from your current employer. Same thing, your name, if you're a permanent employee or if you're a contractor, how many hours you have been entitled to work there, and then your certificate of sponsorship code, your current salary, and then your annual entitlement of annual paid leave, and then you have maintained that until making the application. So they will give you a list of holidays where you went as a personal holiday and a business holiday. You can attach them as a table, and then you can confirm that by the HR in your company. And the letter can also say the you got the recent payslips. If you have the payslips downloaded from the portal, you can obviously get that signed from your HR manager or your director or the MD of the company, whoever is authorized to sign on behalf of the company. In some cases, the previous employer may not be reachable, and then you might not be getting any response from them. In this case, you need to send them an email 2 or 3 times, and then you need to take the printout of the email, and then you need to prepare a covering letter to tell the Home Office that you have been in touch with the previous company, but you've not been getting any response from the company. And also, few people doesn't know how to get their COC code from the current employer. So in respect of finding your COC code, you can ask your employer to log into the SMS system, which is the system for the employers to allocate the COS code for their employees. So this can be very useful when you are applying on a tier 2 category. Since you're applying for an ILR, it doesn't mean that your spouse can apply ILR with you. Your spouse will not be eligible to apply for the ILR unless she has spent or he has spent 5 years in the UK. So they can continue to stay in the same visa category, and then they can extend further once the visa finishes. If you have kids, it's quite different when you have kids. If one or both parents have the ILR, and if your child is under 18, they will need to apply the ILR at the same time as you. Here's the fees and processing times. So the standard fees for the ILR application is 2389. And then the processing time can take up to 6 months if it's a standard services. If you're applying on a priority services, it's £500 more, which is 2,889. Decision will be made within 5 days of the UK VCA's appointment. And then the last one is the super priority service, where you need to pay 800 more, and the fees is 3189, where the decision will be made on end of next day after making the UK VCA's appointment. UK VCA's appointment is where you need to upload all your documents a couple of days before the appointment date. On the appointment date, you need to make sure that you take all the originals with you. Once you completed your payment in the portal, this is the appointment confirmation letter confirming your date of the appointment and the time of the appointment with your address where you need to go to the appointment. I would recommend you to go 15 minutes before the appointment, as there will be a complete security check before going to the scanning center. So notification of your results. Once the decision has been made, Home Office will send you an email, and then followed by a letter confirming your decision, which is mentioned in your application. People will get email only if their application is successful. So if it's refused, then you wouldn't be getting an email. It'll be a letter sent to your home address. But don't worry that if you don't get an email that your application is rejected. I've got so many friends who got our application successful and then they haven't got any emails, so you don't need to worry on that. Finally, here's the happy moment, a freedom for you guys to go and work anywhere in any company and do any business, remain in the UK. So where the Home Office will send you the BRP card to your home address within 7 to 10 days of your decision. The Home Office will also notify the applicant. If it's a complex application, it might take some time. So the Home Office will be in touch with you guys to say that they need more information. It doesn't necessarily mean that your application will be rejected. It's just that they need more time, and then you would be getting the decision at the set time frame. I hope you like this video and find it useful to make your application. I've also made a video where you can check your ILR eligibility requirements, which is very useful before making an application. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All the very best and good luck with the application.